Now, I want to warn you that there is a tendency at this point to skip over establishing a vision because there are way sexier things to be doing, like figuring out what guest speakers you're going to invite to talk or choosing what goes inside those swag boxes that you're going to ship to guests. And that's all very exciting. I agree. But stay with me here. It's a process with a defined order, and you need to follow it if you're going to make your virtual event dream a reality. How are entrepreneurs like us daring bravely to build a stage, ditch the sweatpants, and step up to the mic? How do we create our own transformative events so we can get our message out into the world in a bigger way that's not only profitable, but it's actually something we can be proud of? That's the question. And the answers are inside this podcast. My name is Sarah Pfeiffer. Welcome to Green Room Central. Well, hey there. Welcome to the Green Room Central podcast. I've got something special for you today. Actually, over the next 5 weeks, every Monday, you're going to receive a series of deep dive trainings. They're part of my 5-part series called the Virtual Event Lab. It's a challenge. I made it for you. Today, you're going to be listening to part 1. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm going to be referencing a framework and some worksheets for you to complete. If you want to see those resources, or maybe you just prefer that you watch me on video for these deep dive trainings, then I want you to hop into your members area for free access. Just go to greenroomcentral.com to get access. Look for the button that says the Virtual Event Lab. All right, so get your notebook and pen ready. Let's dive in. Hey there, it's Sarah Pfeiffer, the events expert, and welcome. Welcome to the first training in the Virtual Event Lab. Today, you're going to get more clear and confident about your irresistible offer using a formula that is proven to get results that you not only make a difference, but a profit too. So first, you're going to learn to identify why. Why are you hosting an event both for your community and for your business? Okay. Next, number 2, you're going to learn to identify where your virtual event fits into the bigger picture. And then third, you're going to learn the formula for creating an irresistible offer. I've got my fancy note cards out for today's presentation. I'm recording this from Green Room Central Studios in Portland, Oregon. All right, so right now, we are at the base of the virtual event planning pyramid. So imagine a pyramid. At the bottom, it's making it profitable. We're laying a solid foundation for everything to come. What I wanted you to know is that I'm excited. I'm excited for you to get started right here inside the Virtual Event Lab with your fellow live event leaders, because there's no better time than right now to be learning how to host your own virtual event. We've been at virtual events for a couple years now. We've all seen how successful they can be. They are still rocking and rolling, and it's time, if you've been waiting on the side of the pool, to jump in. Because your community needs you to figure this out. They're craving community, connection, and content now more than ever. They're craving it from someone like you, someone that they trust. They want that transformation that only you can provide for them. And I'm sure that you're seeing this too, right? They may even be asking you, when are you going to host an event? And in your heart, you just feel right that it's going to be virtual and not in person for whatever reason. Maybe it's accessibility. Maybe it's convenience. Maybe it's just where you're at. You don't want to travel right now. Or maybe it's because you've seen how extensive the reach can be with a virtual event and how accessible it is to so many and you want to jump on that bandwagon too. Yeah. By doing the work of putting on a virtual event, and it is work. I'm certainly not going to pretend like it isn't or like it's easier than putting on an in-person event. And yeah, it can be stressful too if you don't get started on the right foot. So today we're going to get started on the right foot so that you don't wreck your health getting all stressed out on your your path of purpose. I'm a big believer that your health is your greatest asset, and stress plays a huge part there. I also know that learning this curriculum and getting your hands on these tools will impact how many hours you spend away from your family working hard on this. That's so important because we're all juggling so darn much. And I want you to do this work of planning your first or your next virtual event in a way that's purposeful and profitable. Let's not be dilly-dallying around and wasting time on stuff that doesn't move the needle. Does this sound good? Now, I want to warn you that there is a tendency at this point to skip over establishing a vision because there are way sexier things to be doing, like figuring out what guest speakers you're going to invite to talk or choosing what goes inside those swag boxes that you're going to ship to guests. And that's all very exciting. I agree. But stay with me here. It's a process with a defined order, and you need to follow it if you're going to make your virtual event dream a reality. But maybe you're struggling with bigger picture stuff. Like, will I enjoy the virtual event as much as an in-person event? And I think if we dig down deep, you can find many examples of how many virtual events you've gone to in the past couple of years that you yourself have enjoyed and appreciated the event leader for hosting, right? Or maybe you're struggling with questions like, will people register? Will it be profitable? Will I have the right equipment and knowledge? Will the tech go down? And all of these concerns, I want to say that you're not alone. Your peers worry about the same things as they make the virtual event happen in their own business, right? And we're going to cover all those things over the next 5 trainings. But today we're going to be where our feet are, and that's establishing the vision. Are we cool? Excellent. So here's the deal, y'all. This stuff fires me up. I fell into the role of producing events, much like you, I expect. It wasn't in my job description, and then the need arose, so I stepped up, and what I didn't know is that stepping up would add up to over 20 years spent learning the art of producing live events. And I learned through curiosity and questioning and testing and trying and honestly just rolling my sleeves up and doing the work. And somewhere along the way, I became intensely passionate about excellence in live events. They're my favorite thing to work on. Seriously, it lights me up inside happy. And as I've developed and honed my philosophy and my methodologies for them, I've learned a lot about what's needed and what's not. And I've done it wrong plenty of times. But here's the thing. I'm a wife and I'm a mother and I'm an entrepreneur too. So I understand the struggles of leveling up a business, the unfamiliarity and uncertainty of it all, while also trying to keep lots of other plates spinning. I understand the desire to do something new and needing to figure it out quickly. So that's what you're going to get over the next 5 trainings, exactly what you need to know to make your virtual event dream a reality, and nothing that you don't. I built it from the mindset of being thrown into the role of producing events and needing to know exactly what to do and how to do it. And while I have a lot of virtual event experience over the past 20 years of planning events, the innovation that's come from the entire world shifting to virtual events over the past couple of years has been amazing to see. Huge leaps have been made in such a short time. Would you agree? What's awesome is that I have been obsessively studying the marketplace since the world shifted to virtual, and even since the world shifted back to in person. And I'm seeing where things are settling out, where it feels like it's a right fit to keep virtual in the portfolio, and where it's the right fit to add in person back in. And in fact, where it's a right fit to run a hybrid. So I've been collecting up the best practices that are all rising to the top, and I want to plan to share them with you over these next 5 trainings. And I'm feeling so very positive about the possibilities for you as a virtual live event leader. The playing field really has been leveled by virtual events. There's never been an easier time to get into the game of live events. Yes, it can be expensive to run a virtual event, but it can also be very inexpensive. Attendance is still strong. And we know we can get guests from around the world, and more guests than we would have if we were in person, just because of the accessibility factor. Profits are trending higher too. So what I want you to know is that virtual is at least 80% the same as in person. It's just a little bit of that tech and touch that is different. And it's super refreshing to hear that and know that, because it feels suddenly a little bit more accessible to each of us to host our own virtual events. I think it's a big deep breath when we hear that. I think that you should know that leaders like you are jumping in, they're seeing success. You know this, you've witnessed it, and now it's your time. You're going to walk away from training 1 here inside the virtual event lab with answers to some really big questions and some big work completed. And you're going to know why you want to host an event for you and for your community. You're going to know where your event fits into the bigger picture. And most of all, you're going to know the formula for creating an irresistible offer. The training we're going to work through together here, called Making It Profitable, will be the foundation that you need to march very confidently towards making your virtual event dream a reality. And not someday way out in the future. I mean now. Before we dive in, I want to congratulate you for being here. Being part of the virtual event lab is a really big deal. The fact that you're here participating in training 1 is a big deal. Just being in this challenge has the possibility of changing the course of your business. Adding virtual events to your arsenal of tools to run your business is huge. You're in an excellent program for teaching you virtual event creation. Now I want you to do yourself a favor. I want to have you get out your journal, turn off your distractions, close the door, download the digital workbook page for this training. I want you to prepare to take lots of notes and give yourself a high five, because you're here. A lot of people have the dream to grow their business, to scale by being the front of the room gal, being the guy leading successful online workshops, hosting energizing virtual retreats, and delivering their message in a bigger way within the container of events because they know it's an extremely profitable business model. It's a path to scale. But they aren't here. You are. And I'm here with you today as a result of ongoing training and dedication to excellence in my craft. And I'm glad to see that you're here too. I celebrate you for being here. Grab your pen and let's go. So let's start with why, right? Back to this card I held up for you at the beginning. Start with why. And what I like to do is tell people to start with why times 2. And the times 2 is, why are you hosting this for your event for your business? And why are you hosting this event for your community? It's important that we're really grounded at the beginning of the planning of any event in those 2 truths, because they act like a lighthouse and guide all of the decisions that we will make from here on out. So when you're clear on why are you hosting this event for your business? Is it to make an offer? Is it to fulfill on a promise made within another program? Is it a lead magnet? What is your why for hosting this event? Okay? You got to get so clear about that. And then I also want you to know why you're hosting it for your community, in the sense that what is the problem that you're solving for them with this event? What transformation are they seeking? I think so often when we are not crystal clear on this piece, it gets very hard to convert prospects into registrants because we're not clear on what the outcome is that we have intended for our event guests. We can't properly message that on the event sales page or in the event social media. And that's a problem. And you get all stressed out because you're wondering, why don't I have more signups yet? And it's this piece right here that a lot of people, not you, but a lot of people skip because they want to rush to the sexier stuff. It's totally fun to pick out stuff for a swag box. It's super exciting to reach out and find some awesome guest speakers to speak at our events. But that's not where we're at right now. Where we're at right now is figuring out our why times 2. Okay? So that's number 1. That's why. So let's go into the second thing we're going to talk about, and that is the bigger picture. It's kind of like we're honing your whys at this point, because the bigger picture, when we're talking about this second piece, the bigger picture, we're trying to figure out, where does this event fit into the bigger picture for your business and for your community? And this is where we start talking about your ideal customer journey and the ascension model that you've built within your business. Because your event is a key piece on that journey. And I want you to be so clear about where it fits and how you're using it. So for example, perhaps you're using a live virtual event as a launch where you're going to offer your high ticket offer. Perhaps you're using your event as a means to fulfill on a piece of your high ticket offer. Perhaps you sell a digital course for $2,000. And as part of that digital course, you're offering a 2-day virtual event. And so it is one piece fulfillment on your initial offer, but perhaps then it acts as a vehicle for you to make an offer into an even higher level program, perhaps like your mastermind. And so it's essential that we're figuring out where this virtual event fits on that customer journey. And I want you to picture it like a straight line. And I know it's not going to be a straight line for every one of your clients, but let's talk happy path. And so I'd love for you to draw that straight line and envision getting them from the left to the right, and take some time to sit and envision where that event fits along that line. And as homework, I would really love for you to spend some time journaling, drawing that horizontal line, perhaps marking 5 spots along the line, fill in what you can, and identify where this event fits into the bigger picture. And remember that you're mapping your lifetime customer journey. Kind of like when you're in an event planning season and you're mapping out the journey that you want your guests to take through your event, or even through a session within your event. That's what you're doing here, but more at like the 1,000-foot level, where we're mapping out their journey as a customer of your business. I think you're going to find that to be super helpful. And I would do this, like add this pro tip on at this point for those of you are feeling like you want the more advanced level, and not only map out that customer journey, like the lifetime customer journey, ideal happy path, but also map out your virtual event in the calendar year too, of when you're launching and when you're fulfilling, and see where it fits in that calendar, because there will be a runway before and a runway after your virtual event. And I want to make sure that it's fitting in with all the other stuff that you've got going on in your business. All right, let's move on to number 3, the offer formula. This is an important one. I think what I see event leaders making a mistake with is not making an offer at their event, not using this extremely successful vehicle of virtual events as the vehicle that it is to make an offer and make a profit from the event. I always say, let's plan to win and not set ourselves up to fail when it comes to profitability and events. And in order for that to be true, we need to make an offer at the event. It is not enough to charge your guests to attend. You will probably break even at best with that model. You need to think about additional revenue streams. And that is making an offer at the event. It's an environment that creates this intimacy, that know, like, trust factor like no other. And that intimacy level skyrockets in such a tight amount of time. And we don't get that in a lot of other scenarios in business, but we do inside the container of events, even virtual events. Yes. And so what I need you to know is that making an offer at an event will likely lead to you having a profitable event. And in fact, probably quite an extremely profitable event at that. And so what I'm inviting you to do is to make an offer at the event. But do not forget that the offer is not your digital course. your offer is solving a problem. Okay? And so remember all of the work that you've done to get your messaging right in other aspects of your business as you've been ramping up sales of your digital courses and your memberships and your coaching. The same holds true for when you're making that offer during the event. You know this, I'm preaching to the choir, but I just don't want you to forget. And to that end, I don't want you to forget that when you sell your event, that you need to think about that as an offer too. You're solving a problem. What is the problem you're solving within the container of the event? Okay? Think through where they're at and where they want to be. What kind of transformation is going to get kicked off within the event? What are the promises? What can they expect? Really think through benefit extension. And when you do, you're going to have such an easier time of converting prospects into registrants on your sales page with all your social media posts and emails, is thinking through the offer of the event just like you would for any other digital product that you have or other product offering in your business. You're making an offer that is bigger than just buy my ticket to this event. And to that end, remember that bonuses have worked in other aspects of your business, and bonuses will work in events too. People love bonuses. And so I would encourage you to consider including them with your event ticket sales. Okay? So we just talked about offer formula being not only the promise, also the price. Promise plus price equals offer. Your offer is solving a problem. You need to make an offer within the container of the event in order for your event to be profitable. Know that if you're just selling a ticket and that's the only revenue source, you're likely not going to be profitable. You need to think about multiple revenue streams when it comes to your event. That's it. We finished step 3. You've got this. Think of your event ticket as an offer and figure out what you're going to offer within the container of your event. Because remember, people came there looking to kick off a transformation. They came because they wanted to do it with you and with the community that you've gathered. And there will be a portion of them who want to continue on with you. So it's your responsibility to have something ready at your event to sell them so that you can invite people to continue. If your virtual event is a retreat of sorts, then have the date of the next one ready so that you can sell that. Easy peasy. All right, let's move on. Now it's time to act. And your action step for today is I want you to complete the Training 1 worksheet. So it's available for you to download in your members area. If you're already there, you're going to see it in the download section right under or next to this video. If you're listening on audio, then go over to greenroomcentral.com, click the button for the virtual event lab and get yourself registered and into the members area for free. That download is going to help you hone your whys and create your offer, and it'll serve as the foundation for your virtual event planning. I want you to start by downloading that workbook page and reading through the questions, and then I want you to spend 15 minutes brainstorming and recording your answers on that worksheet. As soon as this training is over, I want you to block time on your calendar to do the work. Or heck, if you've got time right now, go ahead and do it right now. Let's tie all this up in a pretty bow, shall we? So Training 1 of the Virtual Event Lab Challenge has been all about how to make it profitable. You learned the 3 big pieces for laying a super solid foundation to your event. You learned to identify why you want to host an event for your community and for your business. You learned to identify where your event fits into the bigger picture of your business and your other offers that you make. And most of all, you learned the formula for creating an irresistible offer. And you've got your action step to complete training 1, the worksheet in your digital workbook. And you're getting it done. Just one step at a time. That's all it's going to take. So awesome. Now, I want to tell you though, I don't want you to put off doing this work. It's kind of like a lighthouse. It'll guide you through the entire rest of the planning process. Do give it some thought. Don't rush through this part. Don't be afraid of making an offer. Remember, a portion of your community will be ready for you to make an offer to them. They'll be looking to you for the next step to take following your event, and they'd like it to be with you. And so I do want you to start by starting. Momentum is such a beautiful thing. And after the curtain closes on your first virtual event, you're going to be so glad that you did this work. Now, if you get stuck or you get overwhelmed, I want you to reach out inside this live event leader community. You're now a part of a community, and I want you to ask for help. Support is available to you. We do have a free community called Linchpin Nation. You can join anytime for free. Go ahead to greenroomcentral.com, click the button for Linchpin Nation, and go on and join there. Deep breaths and walks outside, they do wonders for me. Sometimes it's the little resets during the day that work the biggest magic, but also know that that community is there to support you. And keep in mind that you do not have to worry about being first in this space. Over the last couple of years, thousands of online business owners have already jumped in, and they've tested the virtual event waters for you, and they're safe. We're seeing virtual events work for fulfillment events like masterminds and launches with high ticket offers. I've worked with a globally recognized brand to sell physical goods with virtual events. I've worked with an entrepreneur to do a multi-million-dollar live launch. I've worked with a national sports team to use virtual events to celebrate a big win. And I've worked with consultants to run virtual conferences with dozens of presenters from all over the world in multiple languages simultaneously. The sky really is the limit. And your event could work virtually as well. Before we wrap up, I want to take one more moment to remind you about the tool that you have at your disposal. Download the digital workbook page for this training. It'll give you a recap of what we covered here, remind you of your action step for today, and guide your brainstorming. I am so darn thrilled that you're here and that you've completed training 1 of the challenge. You've got this. I know you can do this. It's going to be an awesome ride figuring this all out and making it happen. And at the end, you're going to want to do it all over again, I promise. As you work through your brainstorming homework, I want you to know that a live event can change a person's life. It certainly did mine. I want to see you doing virtual events. It's within your reach. Know that I'm cheering you on for continuing your education, and I want to look forward to seeing you participate in the next training. So our next training number 2, is going to be all about learning tactics the world's most successful online business owners are using so that you can overcome your fear of sales and marketing and fill your event. It's probably the biggest topic of discussion amongst live event leaders. Leaders that are new and leaders that are tenured. So I want you to know that you are not alone in wanting answers on that topic. So let's work on getting people to show up for all of your awesome stuff, shall we? I want you to please share your comments or questions If you're in the members area, right below this video, or feel free to drop them into Linchpin Nation if you're hanging out there. It's there to support you. And don't forget that by asking a question, you are likely helping someone else within this live event leader community who may have the same question. You've got this. I will see you in the next training. Thank you for listening to this special episode of the Green Room Central podcast, all about making your virtual event profitable. If you loved this episode, then please take a screenshot on your phone and post it to Instagram, and be sure to tag @SarahPfeiffer and let me know why you liked it and what you'd like to hear or who you'd like to hear from in the future. That'll help me know what to create for you. If right now you're thinking, Sarah, yes, an event is happening, but here's the thing, I have a sizable team who can make this happen, but we need someone to teach us how. Then go to greenroomcentral.com to book a private workshop. You'll get a customized 2-day workshop for your team. During that workshop, everyone will learn a repeatable framework that can be used to start or scale events in your business. You will then create a roadmap as a team so that everyone leaves the workshop with a shared vision for how to move forward with confidence. Now, in case you're curious, this podcast is built on Kajabi. I have loved how easy it was to get things set up, but more so, I am thrilled that my entire business is run within one platform, from my emails to my pages to my courses and also my podcast. It's all under one roof. If you love simplicity and scalability as much as I do, then go to greenroomcentral.com to get a free 14-day trial from Kajabi. I appreciate your commitment to leveling up and learning the mindset and strategy of live events. Keep going. Keep learning. If you want more, head over to greenroomcentral.com for show notes and all the links from today's episode.